We're doing it live, folks. Hello. Happy New Year. Oh, my cable getting all messed up now. It's fine. This is just what we do. No, why isn't your year going great so far, Willow? Yeah. My hair's fine. It's fine. We're fine. Wow, I've already lost 3 people. That's intense. Oh shit. From work? Is that because you help people all the time? Is that how that happens? I'm sorry to hear that. Hi, Mike. Hi, Jacob. Hi, Willow. And everyone else who's come in since then. Good fucking golly gosh. I'm very sorry to hear that. Are you but you're alive, clearly. So that's good. That's the ideal. Can you not taste? Are you having one of those? Do you have those symptoms? And are you using that as an example to eat really healthfully because it doesn't matter how it tastes anyway? Which I feel like is something that more people should do when they're sick. Hello, Avulance. Is that how you say that name? I don't know. I'm trying. Well, that's good. I'm glad you're not sicker. I would be very sad if you got like hella COVID. Fair. How am I supposed a valianza? We got time. I'm not going anywhere. I feel like I have an above average number of avuleance. Isn't that what I said? Avuleance. I feel like that's what I said. I feel like if someone were to go and check the tape, I would have nailed it. Nailed it the first time. But whatever. Oh, hey. Yeah, regardless. Hello, everyone. It is 2020. What a wild thing that we did. Well, but yeah, getting the vaccine doesn't stop you from getting COVID necessarily, but it does stop you from dying from COVID. That's I didn't think that was your real name, to be clear. I didn't think that's what it said on your birth certificate. Then again, what it says in your birth certificate does not really matter. Bigger picture. So you can obviously go by names that don't match the ones on your birth certificate, but just wanted to clarify that so I don't get fucking canceled. My 2021's fine. I've watched movies. It's most of what I've done is I've watched some movies and then I watched the Ratatouille musical. And I have been working on my review of the Ratatouille musical, which I have to finish writing and then shoot and edit tonight so it can go up. Basically, I'm going to post it as soon as it's done, because it is still currently available to stream, and I want to get it out while it's still available to stream in a definitely failed attempt to like capture the zeitgeist, because I can pretty much guarantee I am one of the only people who reviews things on YouTube in like a serious capacity who spends enough time on TikTok and treats TikTok with the respect it deserves to actually talk about that show properly. I feel like I am uniquely suited as someone who reviews movies and theater and spends so many hours on TikTok to like I'm the guy who can do this right. So that's what I've been working on. And yeah, that'll be my and I've been trying to make sure I know the lyrics to one of the songs for my intro, so I can just like fucking sing. Because I feel like my first video of the year should involve singing. Because my first video of last year was my fucking Hamilton review. And obviously, the Ratatouille review will not be my Hamilton review. Redux, but definitely, if I were someone, I can definitely just sing. I'm gonna do the Rat's Way of Life, because which Adam Lambert sings in the production, which is, he does a pretty good job. The guy who plays plays Evan Hansen in the version of Dear Evan Hansen that was on Broadway until Broadway stopped existing. He is definitely the best part of the show because he is the one who really understands it. And I think not coincidentally, he is the only member of the cast who is part of Gen Z. So, but yeah. And I, watched some movies that were good yesterday. I was like trying to clear my backlog. I have like the movies that I'm ashamed to admit I haven't seen. And yesterday I crossed two of them off the list, and they were two radically different movies. One was Tokyo Story by Yasujiro Ozu, which I'm not necessarily ashamed to say I haven't seen it, but like it has felt like one of those critical blind spots as someone who ostensibly knows things about Japanese cinema, at least more than your average white guy. And I'm going to check. I'm not seeing anyone commenting on things, so I'm going to check the thing to see if we're doing it. Okay, cool. No one's saying anything. That's fun. But so yeah, to see Yasujiro Ozu, you should watch Clockwork Orange. Interesting. I'd seen one Ozu film and I didn't particularly like it, to be honest. It was the longest 90-minute movie I'd ever seen. And Tokyo Story is good. I equated it on my TikTok to, it's like the cinematic equivalent of eating your vegetables. It's a thing you're supposed to do. It's a thing you should do. It's good for you. But it's not necessarily the most enjoyable thing. But I mean, done well, vegetables are fucking fantastic. Happy New Year, fam. Take care. So yeah, those are my feelings on Ozu. And I'm glad to just have finally like gotten Tokyo Story off the list. And then I watched Enter the Dragon because I have never seen a Bruce Lee movie all the way through. I've seen like fight scenes and stuff, but I'd never like seen start to finish. And Enter the Dragon's real fucking good, guys, in case you didn't know, which you should. Happy New Year. I downloaded an Excel sheet of all of my stuff on Letterboxd. Unfortunately, the Excel sheet that they give you does not include countries, and I really wish it did because I would like to, be able to visualize in Excel where all the countries were from. There is a visualization on Letterboxd itself, but it's only all of your movies. It's not like just the 1 year. Although, because I've only been using Letterboxd since last year, it's basically last year plus the movies I saw the last 2 days. So I don't think so. Movie theaters. Oh yeah, we're talking about movie theaters, not theater. Since that's what I was talking about. I think that theaters will continue to exist in a diminished format. Bam, subscribe to me on TikTok and or Letterboxd. I watched The Godfather and Before Midnight on the first day, and then yesterday I watched Enter the Dragon and Tokyo Story. But so yeah, the bigger picture thing. Really, really big, expensive movies don't justify themselves to streaming services, right? Like you would never you wouldn't see Avengers Endgame 2 on Disney Plus no matter what, because like you it's not economical. You need that individual thing to bring in money. Um and the reason theaters won't go the reason theaters will not go the way of record stores is because theaters, like, the problem with record stores is you need to have equipment to play records, and you need to want that. It needs to be like, listening to a record is like the least convenient way possible to listen to music. And a movie theater is not the least convenient way to see a movie. It is a self-contained experience. It might be the most expensive way to see a movie, but it is not the most complicated. Um, and people who want to see something on a big screen will continue to go to a theater. Like, I will continue to go to movie theaters as long as they exist, because I have a decently sized TV. I wish I had a bigger TV, but I watched Wonder Woman 1984 on a 50-inch TV, and that movie would be way better on a big screen. It would still be complete nonsense, but it would be better. So I don't think that theaters will ever go away entirely, but I think that there's like a mid-sized theater that's just going to die out. Repertory theaters will continue to exist forever. I don't hate Wonder Woman 84. I'm probably going to do my video after Ratatouille the musical. It's going to be called Wonder Woman 1984 Makes Less Sense Than Tenet, or something like that. Because there are a couple of things about it that I really like. But there are so many things about it that are that is one of the hottest takes I have ever seen. And among many other reasons it's fundamentally flawed, I don't think a single person runs in that movie. It is all CG, and it looks horrible. The CG physics in Wonder Woman 1984 are some of the worst I have ever seen, and there is so much of it. It is wild that a movie that cost that much money was allowed to have that fucking barely previs level bullshit. I mean, yeah, the whole handsome guy is. You don't have thepiratebay.com, Willow? Is there not a piratebay.co.uk? I mean, that's how a lot of people see shit. Not that I recommend pirating content, YouTube. I would never do that. Yeah, it looks real fucking bad. But the thing, fundamentally, I appreciate the fact you don't have a television? Oh, that's too bad. I remember I made a movie whenever ago, and I asked a friend if he would watch it, and he's like, well, I don't have I have a TV, but I haven't set it up yet. And then 4 months later, I was like, did you watch? And I recommended he don't watch it on a laptop, because it was specifically made to be seen on a bigger screen, because there's a section where they're filming a film to laptop screen, and if you watch it on a laptop, the chat room in the bottom corner of the laptop screen is difficult to see. And I knew that would be the case. And I also knew that if you watched it on TV or a projector or like in a theater, you would totally get it. And it was rejected from a film festival because someone watched it on their laptop and they're like, I can't read the fucking screen. And I was like, fuck you. I'm not, I made a cinematic film for cinemas, not, for your dumb laptop, you jerk. Also, this person said it was confusing and I didn't understand it when it's like the most straightforward fucking thing ever. Like there's like it's so simple. Clearly that person was just stupid. Which, whatever. But I mean that makes sense. I had in college, I bought a TV, but that like it was like a 32-inch TV because it was important to me that I had a TV. I also like brought multiple video game consoles to school after my freshman year. And the only way to do that, I wasn't going to like attach them to the monitor that I attached to my computer. Did I bring my desktop to school? I think I might have. I think I might have had two computers at one point. I don't remember. I was in college 10 years ago. 6 years ago. 7 years ago? When did I graduate? 2014. 7 years ago. Jesus fucking Christ. What a that's too bad. I want a projector. That's really like the problem is the projector is $6,000, and I don't have that much money, sadly, that I can just throw away. You know, if the United States government gave us a $6,000 check instead of a $600 check, I would probably use it to just buy a really expensive projector. That's too bad. Because I want like a laser projector. That's like my goal. My goal is to get to a point in life where I can just be like, yeah, I want a laser projector, and or just wait 3 years when it's half the price. And then like, that'd be like the only thing I buy in 2024. Whatever. I don't know. Or, maybe YouTube starts making me hella money. That the jokes that won't happen, but it's fine. Yeah, but I specifically want that LG one. You know the one. But regardless, I'm not stepping back to answer the question. I do not think movie theaters will go away, but I do think a certain type of movie theater will go away and a different type of movie theater will rise up to take its place. Like, I don't think that a place like Film at Lincoln Center or Film Forum will ever go away. Really, I think they hit the IFC Center in New York, but I mean, repertory theaters in New York will be fine. Repertory theaters in LA would be fine. I'm less convinced that like a repertory theater in like, I don't know, some suburban area. Like I would think places in cities with like, relatively vibrant art areas like, could continue to have small ones. And I think AMC and Regal or some equivalent will continue to exist on the other end of this, even if they run out of money currently. Because like, what are you going to turn a movie theater into? Like the buildings are just like the only thing they're really good for is being movie theaters. So like I feel like they or something like them will be back, but then there's like a sort of middle tier, like independent but not repertory movie theater, like local ones, and those are the ones that I think are gonna fail, which is too bad because I would rather those exist than like AMC, but whatever. I mean, LG, the reason I found out about that particular LG projector is because they sponsored several videos, but those people had to then give their projectors back, which is some hot garbage. So, I'm not going to do a fucking sponsored thing about something that I don't get to keep. I feel like I should ask some VPN company to sponsor me just so I can get free access to their VPN. Like maybe they'd give me like a lifetime license. Like I don't need money. I just like want your service just forever. I mean, so many of the places have so much fucking money. Oh wow, yeah, that's intense. I mean, I think, I don't know how you preserve a movie like Tenet correctly. Um, I mean, on some level, so I mean, preserving films. So the question is, do you preserve film itself or do you preserve films? Because preserving films is not very difficult. You just get a really high resolution scan and then you put it on a server somewhere, right? Um, preserving film itself is more difficult. And I mean, if you preserve the IMAX version of Tenet, you need an IMAX projector to play it. And that will get harder and harder as time goes on. Although only one person in the world actually shoots on IMAX film. So it really doesn't matter that much at this point. Or maybe a couple. Zack Snyder seems to like to. But, fine. You get, let's say there's fewer than 10 people in the world who shoot on IMAX film. That doesn't matter. Increasingly things are being shot digitally. So, I mean, frankly, I am open to the idea of having an incredibly high resolution VR headset that replicates um, uh, Jesus Christ, that's such a so I'm doing my Ratatouille review, right? Ratatouille the musical review, and I'm trying to figure out how far into it I have to how far into the video I have to wait before I start calling Disney like the worst possible thing in the world, like the worst company ever. And the fact and I'm extremely cynical about why Disney allowed that movie to exist or allow that thing to happen. And I'm trying to figure out how far in I have to put it so that the official account will retweet it. So they'll watch like 5 minutes and they'll be like, this is great. And then they'll retweet it. And then someone will watch it and get to the point and be like, oh, actually, Disney fucking sucks. Because if I start with it, we start on the raw, if we start with it, I lose a certain segment of people that I don't necessarily want to lose off the bat. I want to get them deep enough into it that they don't realize that actually Disney is the bad guy. Unless they already know that Disney is the bad guy. I haven't seen Soul yet. I've heard it's good. But I don't have Disney Plus. Not that that's going to stop me from watching it, but because I don't have it, it is slightly more complicated to watch. I very much liked the TikTok musical. Thank you very much. I was shocked how earnest it was. Yeah, it's a really interesting experience. I was watching it earlier. Just again, I knew a couple of the songs going into the show. I knew the basic, the Remy, the Ratatouille, the rat of all my dreams. Like I knew that one, and then I knew I smelled a rat. Yeah, it's complete fucking nonsense. Although Chris Pine, ugh, my favorite Chris. Ugh. Also, Gal Gadot is gorgeous, and like looking at the two of them together, it's just like oof, oof, you know. Um, so here's the thing about Wonder Woman. I really, really like that there is a superhero movie that ends with something other than two people fighting. Like, I really, really appreciate the idea that, you know, like I saw people saying like, oh, they should have, gotten rid of the gold storyline and instead had the Pedro Pascal storyline, and they should have just focused on the Kristen Wiig storyline. And I think the opposite. I think they should have just cut Cheetah entirely and just gone full bore into that because we got our cool like fight scenes in with the fucking tanks and shit. Like that was cool enough. Like I don't need to see two CGI people punch each other for a while. I want to see Wonder Woman inspire the entire fucking world. That's what I want from that, and that's what I want from more superhero movies. And the way they did it didn't make a lot of sense. Um Not at all. But like the idea that like actually they should have focused more on Cheetah and that it should have ended on this like big dumb fight that like every other fucking superhero movie ends on is like I so vehemently disagree with that idea. Like we need more superhero movies that are not the same as every other superhero movie. Um it's like in fucking Dragon Ball Z when Goku is like, pulling from the energy of everyone in the world. And then he does like that fucking like, world ending thing is obviously that's like, it's a fight, it's a fight, it's a fight. But then you have this moment where it's like, it's about everyone. And like, that's what we need more of. Oh yeah, no, Pedro Pascal. Yeah, no, like no, there is no part of the movie that follows any kind of internal logic. However, I actually think the broader, like if you do not follow or if you do not attempt to follow the logic of the fact that like some people get multiple wishes, how does he decide what what it is that they lose that is like the worst that like yeah, like if you attempt to think about literally any part of it, it falls apart. However, I do think at like the very, very surface level, it sort of works dramatically in a way that Tenet does not. Um, I think Tenet makes more sense, which is saying a lot about how badly uh, Wonder Woman 1984 fucked it up. But like Tenet is like not based on any drama. It's just based on like an idea. Whereas Wonder Woman like had this sort of dramatic idea and then they came up with the worst possible way to implement it, but it still fundamentally worked for me. Um, I as I said, I think my video after the Ratatouille one is going to be about that, and I'm going to try to sort of work through my thoughts a little bit more. Um, um, I just like don't. But the thing is, I don't like. We saw her use her superpowers by fucking flying and shit. Like, I don't need to see her punch real good. Like, that's her superpower, right? Like, she can fly, and we saw her do that. And I don't need to, like, I just don't need to see them punch people good more, you know? Superman doesn't need to put, like, throw people through a building. right? He needs to spin the world around backwards. Yeah, to be clear, I actually liked Tenet, and I also liked Wonder Woman 1984. I liked both of them more than the general consensus. Um, However, both of them are complete nonsense. So I was literally working on the part about Disney before coming on here. So, what have I written so far? Where is it? Um, I have like an unfinished paragraph, but this is what I said so far. The lasso is just a thing that she has. As we learn in the in this fucking movie, it is powered by truth itself, which is just a force that exists in the universe or whatever. Now, I'm fairly cynical when it comes to things like this, infinitely more so when Disney is involved. There's a 100% chance that the existence of this is purely a marketing ploy on Disney's part because they don't want people paying attention to the fact that the recently passed stimulus bill included the controversial Case Act, which makes the already brutal copyright regime that sees remixes and the like pulled regardless of usage and gives the original owners even more power to crush the little guy who might, for example, want to make a musical out of Ratatouille. Um, and so, and then I'm going to go in. But, you know, uh, I think that despite, you know, like I don't think the performance is not cynical, even if Disney's motivations for allowing it to happen, because Disney didn't have anything to do with it. They just like said, go for it. Remind people that Ratatouille is on Disney Plus and they should go fucking pay for our bullshit service, right? Um, So, yeah, but that's what I have so far. Um, it's about TikTok and theater and um and how they sort of converge and the difference, you know, seeing that performance is incredibly interesting because every single person brings a totally different energy. And I think only one of them 100% gets what it was. Actually, two. I think two people, two and a half, three. I think three people get it, though one of them gets it harder than everyone else. And then the rest kind of didn't understand what they were a part of. And they're still good, but they definitely are not as good. Um, yeah. I don't have any feelings on Andriy Zivinskiy. You can still see it. It's available on ratatouille.com. Wait. Okay, this is the other Leviathan, right? This is like the good one and not the one that I fucking hated. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that was from 2012, I think. Yeah, okay. I haven't seen any of this guys. I've heard Leviathan's very good. Man, the 2012 film Leviathan is one of my most hated things fucking ever. Man, that movie made me so genuinely angry. It's wild. I feel bad for people who write negative comments on things. How many subscribers have I lost since starting this? Oh, wow, none yet. It'll happen. I always lose subscribers every time I do a live stream, just like I lose subscribers every time I post a video. I usually lose more subscribers to live streams than I do videos, though. Though I guess I don't. I haven't really made a video on like a fundamentally. I didn't watch Possessor, but I did watch Videodrome, which I had never seen before. I'm definitely going to see. I'm going to see Possessor sometime in January. I very much want to see it. I just haven't had time. It's like high on the list of movies. That fucking guy. Like, so if any of you follow me on Twitter, um, you you may have seen the thing I posted about the guy who just like posted like 7 straight comments about my video on James A. Caster, which is by far my most hated video. Like, it's not even close. It's so interesting to me that people hate it so fucking much. And like, it's not a great video. I'm going to be honest, not one of my best. But also, Jesus fucking Christ, people take it so personally in a way that I really don't understand. Videodrome is fantastic and really weirdly applicable to right now. Like, depressingly, it's fascinating how much how much of the world he like predicted, I guess, and like the internet as a concept, like Videodrome just gets like understands what video would become in a way that I did not expect. Okay, well, I'll keep this guy's. I will keep the Andre etc.'s thing up. I have like a folder called movies to watch with things that people have told me to watch, and I'll throw. I will throw at least Leviathan on there because that's a movie I've been meaning to see for a while, actually. But yeah, but I'm gonna read you my favorite comment that this guy left. Because it is one of the wildest comments anyone has ever given me. You know, let's see, where is it? Yes. So he actually said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 questions, or 8 comments in a very over the course of, I don't know, however long. But my favorite was his second question, his second comment. My review of this guy, with timestamps. 000 started hating this guy based on appearance. 001 hated this guy based on fancy apartment, which my girlfriend very much appreciated. 005 hated this guy for whatever just happened to his face. 006, wait, okay, give him a chance. You're being prejudiced. Your cousin looks like him and you wanted to punch him at first sight until you got to know him. Ellipsis, skims through to learn about him. Ellipsis, can't get past he thinks Acaster is weird and unfunny when his mouth movements and attempts to be silly are weird and unfunny. To be clear, I think James Acaster is very funny. And I don't know why people think I don't, but whatever. Ellipsis, can't stop the word douchebag in UK wanker from repeating over and over my head. Ellipsis, as if in a trance, goes outside to punch the first white guy I see, avoiding the mirror because I'm freaking white. Arg. Which, like, I mean, so good. Like, amazing. You know, and then he like complains about the idea of judging someone. That was all in one comment. And then there were 7 others. My favorite is the part. My real favorite is he's just said, weird, when I press play, all I hear is a baby crying, wah, 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 for 13 minutes. Strange. And it's like, really, bro? You're calling me the crybaby? After this? It's like I actually on that same video, like that video is like the comment section on that video is so fucking intense. It is mind-boggling. But like there was another person who like went complete, like he did at least that many comments and possibly more, and at the end of it he called me a psycho, and I was like, really? You? The person who just left me a manifesto telling me how much you hate me? You're calling me the psycho? Oh man. the guy's last question was, "What is the male equivalent of a Karen?" And I was like, considering the letter you just left for my manager, pretty sure it's you, bro. Which is very funny, and I don't care if you laughed, but I did. What is the most mediocre film? Let's open Excel and see what I watched. Um, man, I watched some good movies this year. Um, I don't even remember that movie. What is that? Um, hmm, maybe Irresistible, which is a movie I liked. But it could be As the Gods Will. No, Mrs. Noisy. I think it's Mrs. Noisy, which I saw as part of um the Japanese Japan Cuts Film Festival. It's probably that. Um, yeah, it's sad, honestly. I told the guy, uh, I was like, "Hey, just so you know, you're pathetic," and I posted about it. Antarctic Journal was pretty mediocre. Um, hmm. Oh, actually, no. The most mediocre movie I saw this year was A Christmas Carol, which I saw like 2 weeks ago. Easy, yeah, yeah. That movie is so like, ugh, just basic. But Daniel really likes it, so fuck it. We watched it. Overrated movie of 2020. Um, I don't know if I saw enough 2020 releases, frankly, to determine that. What were movies released in 2020? Uh, 2020. Um, maybe it's I can tell you what the most underrated movie of 2020 was. Um, the most underrated movie of 2020 was The Rhythm Section. That movie's great. It was a 2009 A Christmas Carol, yes, starring Jim Carrey in CGI face. More people should be ripping off. Um, Invisible Man's fucking great. Uh, I saw that in theaters twice, I think, and I saw The Hunt in theaters twice. Um, Tenet wasn't the most overrated movie because a lot of people didn't like it very much. Um, or did you mean underrated? Yeah, like if Tenet was more beloved, I think people could make that argument, but like it was, um, I did say The Hunt Willow, which I know you like more than anyone who has ever existed. The Hunt was the last. I saw The Hunt twice. I wanted to see First Cow. I should have seen the first. I should have seen First Cow instead of seeing The Hunt the second time. Um, Probably, but I did like The Hunt a lot. Like a lot. So yes. Um, yeah, I saw some interesting movies this year. I mean, that's what happens when you watch 229 movies, right? Most of them for the first time. Um, you know, I saw 44 of them were rewatches, and 185 of them were not. What's the tattoo? Uh, my favorite movie I saw in 2020. My favorite movie I saw in 2020, or my favorite movie released in 2020? Because I'm sure those are different things. No, wrong. Released. I didn't see Nomadland. There's a bunch of movies that came out towards the end of the year that I wish I'd seen. Um, Favorite movie that I saw. Looking at this list, it might be Mangrove. Um, yeah, it might be Mangrove. Mank is really high up there. I loved Palm Springs. Palm Springs is really good. Um, I'm so fucking angry about Promising Young Woman not coming out in theaters. Like, I was so excited to see it on Christmas Day, and then it just fucking wasn't available. Um, is it available now? Because if it is, I need to fucking see it, and and I'll probably review that instead of Wonder Woman. Because yeah, I've been super excited about that movie since April. Um, oh, Peninsula. Peninsula is the most fucking mediocre movie I saw this year, probably. Um, it came out in theaters here. It didn't come out on VOD. I think it's coming out on VOD like next week. Um, like I think there's like a 17-day window or something, so I think it comes out on the 11th. Um, yeah. Um, hmm. Oh, did I see? I saw Portrait of a Lady on Fire for the first time this year. Oh, what a good movie. Um, ooh, yeah. I mean, honestly, the movie that I have thought about the most since seeing it is Burning, which I have thought about more than basically any other movie I saw this year or ever. I think about that movie fucking constantly. Um, like, like so fucking constantly. It's ridiculous. Um, yeah, Peninsula. I mean, I kind of liked Peninsula, but like, man, I think he should go back to making. Um, I think he should go back to making animated movies. Um, Soul Station is like Train to Busan is better than Soul Station, but Soul Station is more interesting. And Soul Station is way better than Peninsula. Um, yeah, like way better. Someone asked me if I was interested in being. Oh God, Burning is so good. Um, it's so fucking brutal though. Like, I think. Oh shit, no, Antifa, Baby Yoda. Um, like, ugh, I um, I think about the idea of greenhouses as Happy New Year. Greenhouses as represented in that film all the fucking time. And like, God, rich people are the fucking worst. Like they're so awful. Um, Audition is awesome. Did you watch my YouTube video about it? Um, it's a rat's life for us, little Remy. We don't. Sorry. That song's fucking great. Um, and I've been singing Rat's Life for us, little Remy. We don't cook food, let alone where we don't go. Whoops. Yeah, I mean that would be a pretty memorable. How did you break the door of the theater you watched it in? That's one of those things where if this was on TikTok, someone in the comments would be like, "We need a part two. You need to explain to us." I love TikTok. So, that's life for us, little Remy. We don't cook food, let alone where we don't go. Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, so to clarify, Happy New Year to everyone who is here since the last time I said it. It is, good for all of us for making it to 2021. Um, I used to not like it took me so fucking long to watch um I mean, the thing about Audition is that Audition is it's just like it was so much more shocking in 1999 than it is now. Like it's just not um yeah, I mean, I think a lot of us barely made it to 2021, but we did make it. I so I used to do this thing called 1 second every day, right? Um if you've been around with the channel long enough, you know that 1 second every day is the reason that I started this channel on some level that I used to do for several years. I I every single day I would take a second of video reflecting what I had done that day. And then I stopped doing it and I kind of missed it. Um Not enough to start doing it again because it was kind of stressful to feel like I needed to do something interesting every single day. Um but like that sort of impulse was kind of why I started the week I review. It's like, what's the most interesting thing I did that week? Like, and so at the end of the year, I have like, what are the cool things that I did over the course of the year, right? Um, that was sort of the impetus for this whole thing. Um, and I had an idea, I had a realization in the shower that I should have called the channel The Week I Critique, and I was so fucking upset. That I missed that fucking rhyme. Like, I cannot believe that I fucked that up. And it's weird that I didn't have that thought until 2 days ago. Anyways, um, so I haven't looked at any of my 1 second videos in a while, but Facebook was like, "Hey, 4 years ago you posted this one," and I was like, "Sure, let's see what my life was like in 2016." Um, I haven't watched Martyrs, and I don't really intend to watch Martyrs. I've seen enough of the uh, Korean or the French extreme French New Wave or whatever. I know what happens in Martyrs, and I just like, man, I'm just like over. I'm just like over that shit. Um, I feel like the situation in which I would watch Martyrs is if I actually were to get enough patrons and then they were like, "We want you to watch Martyrs," I would do it in that situation. That's kind of the only one. I just like don't want to. I just don't want to subject myself to that. Same with High Tension, Martyrs and High Tension both. There was a time period where I was like watching tons of extreme cinema, and I missed both of those during that time. And then I was just like, I'm good. By the time I was like over extreme cinema, it was too late. That's interesting. I have seen Shutter Island. I enjoyed it. I actually have like a graphic novelization of Shutter Island. I almost never watch movies on my laptop. Basically never. Uh, the most disturbing movie I've ever seen is a Serbian film. Not even close. Um, Holy shit. That is so many fucking movies. Um, the only time, actually, the only time I've never read a plot summary per se, because as much as possible, I try to go into a movie completely blind. The only exceptions have been certain extreme movies. Specifically, I want to find out if / how much sexual assault there is in the movie, because I've made this point before. I'm just over watching rape. I'm just like, I'm done. I don't want to do it anymore. And extreme cinema tends to be extreme in large part because of the just obscene amount of sexual assault that takes place in them. And I just don't want to do, I just don't anymore. Every once in a while I'll see something and it's like, okay, well, I guess this is happening and it's too late now. But like, I'm not going to go into a movie knowing that's critical to. I mean, the Nightingale was like the major exception of the past several years to that rule. Incest is rape. So I wouldn't want to watch either. So I don't know if triggering is the right word per se. Mike, what's the question mark to? I don't know. I don't know that triggering. Oh, God damn it! I knew it. I was like, ugh. Um, yeah, incest is rape. Um, so there is, okay. There is technically probably a situation in which that is not the case, maybe. But incest is rape because of the power dynamics included. So like cross-generational incest will always be rape in every single situation. Technically, if two twins just decide to have sex with each other, I don't know that is rape per se. But like, a parent or an uncle or whatever could never have a consensual relationship with their children. Just it cannot happen because of the power. It's like the fact that, you know, so I'm a manager at my company. If there was someone on my team who like I wanted to hook up with or whatever, that would be rape. Period. It doesn't matter. It's about the power dynamic involved. It's about the fact that the person who is younger looks up to this other person. Your parent raised you. Like that person has power over you. Like period. Just like, and they always will. It's like the fact that, you know, yeah, like yeah, siblings is kind of a weird thing. Like that's but also yeah, don't watch a Serbian film, or do. I mean, I've like gone back and forth on whether or not I think people should watch a Serbian film a lot of times. Um, a Serbian film has a whole lot of assault, and I would not watch it anymore. Um, but yeah, a Serbian film is rough. Um, it's really rough. And actually, so there's two lines in a Serbian film that represent, I think, the two most brutal scenes in it. The first is what makes everyone, and this is how this video gets fucking demonetized. The first is it's already been demonetized. The first is newborn porn. That's the one that like everyone talks about, and I think with good reason. But also that scene is so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous that it's kind of like you can disconnect from that in a way that you cannot disconnect from a happy Serbian family. That scene fucked me up, and I still think about it way too often. Like that scene is so fucking horrifying. Um, I don't believe there's any censorship. By the way, Mike, I hope you're not asking from some kind of like experience, just so we're clear. Like, I hope no one in your family has tried to take advantage of you, or anyone. And in fact, I hope that no one has been tried to take advantage of in any situation. Good. I'm glad to hear it. Okay. Um, so, so I don't really think there's a reason to censor things as long as they were created consensually, etc. I don't think anything needs to be off limits, but I will I just because something is off limits, or just because I don't want to see something doesn't mean it should be off limits, right? And I also think, see, I do, that's total. So say that is absolutely not true. You know, women, anyone should be nude on anything because, being nude, there's nothing wrong with being nude. And there shouldn't, the problem is that we have sexualized nudity in a way that really shouldn't be sexualized. Like nudity can be sexual, but I do not think it is. In fact, I know it is not and does not need to be. So I watched Before Midnight the other night, and um, so and I watch Before Midnight, and so there's a scene where Julie Delby takes off her shirt, um, and uh it starts off like sexual and then it just isn't, but like, she is so, oh hey Phil. So okay, so I'm going to try to finish this thought and then get back to the censorship thing because I think that's an interesting point. Happy New Year, Phil. um y- you know what was that other movie I saw that relates to this? Fuck. um Documentary, what was it called? I watched it as part of another thing. Whatever. I saw a documentary about these Russian activists, um, who go places and they take off their shirts, and like that's the whole thing. Like it's about being, um, it's about freeing themselves because they have had their autonomy taken away. Pussy Riot. Yes, it's about Pussy Riot. That's and um the you know so I my goal in life, and I have realized this over the last really 6 months, is I hope I never get to the point where I feel like some group of people is going too far in their own method of self-expression. So I watched Tokyo Story yesterday, which is a 1953 film by Yasujiro Ozu. And in it, there is an argument between two older men about their younger generation. And you could transplant that exact scene to 2020 about basically about, you know, a conversation being had by the people that scene is talking about anywhere in the world. And you could have that exact same conversation and it would apply. Like, in a sense, yes, I don't want to become a boomer. But like even beyond not becoming a boomer, like I really hope that like, even if I don't understand a choice, I never feel like because I don't understand it, it is somehow problematic or bad or shouldn't exist. You know, and that's separate from thinking that like young people are always correct about everything, because that is, people are wrong sometimes. Young people, old people, like people aren't always correct. But like, hello. Um, yes, no, I think it is very difficult. I mean, so Gen Z will have boomer energy probably. Ultimately, almost everyone, you know, at some point your brain just sort of sets into what it thinks is correct. They say like you only, you stop being able to listen to new music around the age of 30 or whatever. Like after that, um, so okay, so when I'm talking about self-expression, I am talking about expression that does not hurt people. And pro Anna content is not hurting people, you know. So that like doesn't fall into the category of what I'm talking about. I mean, so like let's say like alt girls, like, you know, Willow's attire, for example, you know, she has like that alt girl aesthetic, which is like, hell fucking yeah, dude, right? But, you know, there are people who I'm sure see that and are like, ugh, blah, 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 you know, whatever, insert negative statement, you know. Uh yeah. And so, you know, and again, I don't have to like it. I don't have to think it looks good, but I don't want to get to the point where I like think that it is inherently bad just because I don't understand it or like it or whatever. It's like the world has been made for me. It doesn't need to keep being so. Like honest on some level, I hope as time goes on, I understand the world less and less. Um so so yeah, okay, now let's go back to censorship. And I think that's amazing. Willow, you're great. I am very glad that you are part of this whole thing. It makes me feel better about what I'm doing. Um, so so what I think Said was trying to say, maybe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is that the way female nudity is used in films often is exploitative. You know, like women are naked just for there to be nudity and men tend not to be, and it's like, you know, you're doing it solely for sex appeal, just to be like, look women as objects, and that is bad. um Phil, you will exude boomer energy when you don't like the what when you think Willow's attire is bad for society. um you know, basically that's boomer energy. You know, and so I think so I think ironing socks, that's the one. um you know, and I think, like, look, I've made this point before. When I see more nudity than is absolutely necessary, I'm not the type to complain about that. But just because someone is naked on camera doesn't mean they want to be. And that is a problem. So if you like if you listen, uh yeah, look at Willow's Instagram if you want to know what she looks like, and understand what I'm talking about. Like, so if you watch like interviews with the woman who played Daenerys on Game of Thrones, she talks about the fact that in the first season of Game of Thrones, she didn't really understand what she could say no to. And so she is naked more than she wanted, more than she actually felt comfortable with, because the set was like, the production was such that she felt like she had to say yes even if she didn't want to. And that is bad on every level. If someone is being naked because someone else felt like, oh, there should be nudity here, and it's not because, you know, it's not because, you know, the woman or the man, like, who, it's not because they're like, yes, this is what I want to do, I am 100% on board with it, that is demeaning, that is exploitative, and that is bad in all cases. But if they want to do it, good for them. You know, like, let people do whatever the fuck they want, right? Like, as long as it's consensual. Yeah, Amelia Clark. Like, as long as it's consensual, I, you know, I think it's great. Um, and then, I mean, and you get into other things of like, is it being used to objectify someone? And like, but um, yeah, there's just like it fundamentally is just a matter of like, uh, uh, it's like if someone wants to be that, fucking let him be that. Is really where I stand by that. And so when it comes to censorship, so there's a very, I think, valid argument to be made that there are certain topics that you shouldn't make stories about, like suicide. Suicide. So I was working on a film about suicide. I spent several $1,000s. I traveled around. I worked on it. Um, yeah, Willow is like literally the opposite of me in basically every single way, um, which is really interesting. Um, and fuck, I lost my. Oh, right. So I was working on this movie about suicide, and it was specifically, um, it's it was about what drives a person to suicide, and basically following a kid through that. It's called Shooter. It was about like, took place on a college campus. It's about a person who you think that they're going to be uh, a school shooter, and they are, but the only person they shoot is themselves because, like most handgun deaths are suicides. Like it's like there's so much. It is. You're welcome. You're welcome, Willow. Uh, um, you know the and so I was working on this project for a while, and um, it's like, hold on a sec. Yeah, it's not there anymore. Um, and yeah, and so 13 Reasons Why is an example. Is an example of sort of the same kind of thing. And so, it's making this movie about suicide, and it ultimately became clear to me, in large part because of 13 Reasons Why, which had not come out when I started working on the project. Because I wrote the script in like 2015, I think. And I shot it in like 2017, or I was shooting in 2016, 2017. Um, there's a scene. Hold on, where's my phone? I'll show you because it's pretty funny. Um, I have like another angle of it, uh, and it's of me being thrown down a hill. Um, Photos. Sarah Lawrence. Hold on just a second. Come on, gosh, flipping darn it. When would this have been? Videos. Um, it would have been around here, I think. It was in the summer, right? It was after this. I think it was around here. I know this is riveting content. Sorry about that, but no, there's this. It'll be worth it if I can find it. You're gonna be like, oh wow, that's intense. Um, Actually, it was on the colder side, wasn't it? No, that's not it. Oh, good. Here's the time because right, that was the person. Come on. Where are you? Okay, no, it was after this. Those are casting. Was it November? Was it that late? Come on. Did I skip it? I think I skipped it. Good gosh, golly darn it, guys. I'm gonna get there. In short, I ultimately decided that I shouldn't make this movie because depicting suicides makes people more likely to do it. And that's bad. And just straight up, that is a bad thing with no good side to it. And so I did not want to. Oh, here it is. Is this it? Yeah. Is this it? Yeah. Okay. Got it. Okay. So there's no audio. So okay. Come on. Boom, backpack right in the stomach. So that was as a scene where he gets bullied. Gets thrown down the hill, camera goes down with him, you know. So yeah, so that was that. You know, and so that was, you know, basically showing how he gets a gun, why he gets a gun, him using the gun. All of those things were, I felt, important to telling that story, but none of those are good for the world. And that isn't to say I think people necessarily cannot make those movies, but I think it's possible that they shouldn't, or if they decide that they're going to, they do so understanding the potential ramifications of having done so. There's a guy who wrote Hello Future Me, has a thing about like suicide in narratives, and it's a really, really good video. I've actually gotten into an argument with someone who was at the time extremely suicidal about um is suicide a choice? Is it something they do to themselves? Whatever. I mean, for one thing, I think most libertarians completely lack empathy, and it makes sense that someone who has no empathy would think of suicide as a choice that affects nobody but themselves. Um, you know, like that person probably doesn't feel sadness, so of course, but I think, suicide, that person who wanted to commit suicide is actually doing really well right now, right? She had an incredibly, incredibly traumatic life. Like, I totally understand why she felt the way she did. But, she has worked past it or worked through it. I don't know that it's entirely past, but like, you know, she's in a much better place. She doesn't want to die anymore. And I think the problem with suicide as a choice is that you can't undo it. And I think there's a very valid argument that a lot of people who commit suicide would not have done so if they were given more time, if they were given proper care. And on that level, I think, you know, you can't compare it to any other choice because there's no other choice like that. Right? Um, but at the same time, like people who are terminally ill, I feel like should be allowed to go off on their own terms. Nice. Um, but how hard do you think I work on my YouTube videos? Is the real question. That's an honest question actually. How hard do you think I work? Um, I definitely work harder than some people. What is a movie that I've seen that has dealt with suicide properly? That's an interesting question. Bleak Night. It's a Korean film about a kid who kills himself and their dad trying to understand what led to it. It is incredibly sad. Um, it all takes place in retrospect, really. I mean, in flashbacks. Um, but I think that movie treats it with the seriousness that it deserves. Um, yeah, I mean, look, not to get too fucking real, but if you've seen my Dear Evan Hansen review, you know this. I have been suicidal before, you know. Um, on multiple occasions, I have fortunately never acted upon this, but doesn't mean I haven't had the thoughts a lot. So I am definitely more sensitive to that as a thing. Like I'm very conscious of. So I put a decent amount of work into my videos. I put in more work than um I put in more work than some people, and then I put in less work than others. I would say it's possible that I put less work in than it looks like I do, but that also might not be true because I can't really uh you know compare. I mean, the thing that's weird about my YouTube channel is that my videos look almost exactly the same as they did 2.5 years ago, right? I mean, the lighting's better because I have more lights now. Um, but like fundamentally, my videos have not changed much. So let's say a year and a half is switched to the when I switched to the ring light and started aiming the lights at my back wall instead of at my face, because previously the lights that now face my back wall were on me. I just have a bunch of lights, and lighting is a lot of what makes what makes something look good. You know, cinematography is really all about light. It's like a cinematographer's primary job is not really to figure out where the camera goes. It is figuring out how to properly light a scene. Um, and so I have a setup. that I know works. It takes me 10 minutes to get that set up now. Maybe a little bit longer, but a lot of that is literally me just like, I have to completely take it down and completely set it up every single time. At my next apartment, hello. At my next apartment, I'm really hoping that I can like leave the lights up so I don't have to like go through the whole fucking process from scratch, because it makes it, I can't like do a video off the cuff. Like it takes time to set everything up, but it only really takes like 10 minutes. Um, but because I have the lights, uh, because I have a nice camera, um, I, uh, because of those things, there's just sort of like a kind of objective quality that they have that a lot of YouTube videos do not have. Um, because yeah, and for a channel as small as mine, I also use a really nice microphone. You know, like there are very, very few channels. Most channels that are much bigger than mine do not use equipment that is as nice as I do. Like I use equipment that is more akin to what channels with well over 100,000 subscribers have, or like even a million subscribers, right? Like in terms of just like simple production quality, my channel is much higher because I just set a bar. Hi, Julia. I just, I set a bar for myself. Like if I was going to do this, I was going to make it look good, right? Like, you know, uh, for all of the stuff you hate, or like for all of the things you can hate about the way I do my YouTube videos, I never wanted the like basic technical quality to be something people could complain about. And I don't think they are, and I don't think they ever have been. Um, yeah, I mean, I spend a lot of time writing. I literally have videos about my process and like how I make a video, that I did a year and 4 months ago now. Um, and I mean, the fact that like it is all pre-written and I do it in one take, it definitely changes the impression that people get of the video. Frankly, it makes me sound smarter than I am, um, because some people don't realize I'm using a teleprompter. Um, and I mean, I do my best to make it not seem like I'm using a teleprompter. To be clear, I will write in ums and like and sort of things that typically one would not put in a script, but I do because I want to have the effect of speaking, um, in what I'm writing. But and so but doing it all in one take also just makes it way easier for me to edit. Like all of the edit is finding media, putting media into the video. Like that's all I have to do, and it takes a while. The edits take me a couple hours, and then I get really pissed off when I like look at a channel that has 10, 15, 20 times as many subscribers, and they do not use any media, or when they do, uh, you know, I do not use any memorization techniques because there's no time for me to use memorization techniques. Because, for example, I have not finished writing my Ratatouille video. I have to shoot it tonight regardless. So I don't like, there's no time. I usually finish writing the day I shoot the video. So they're like, if I was doing this the way that like, Philosophy Tube or ContraPoint, like someone who like does one video a month, that like they have a lot of lead time, to memorize, then I might. Although frankly, I don't think I need to. Like I don't think my videos would be any better if I was just like if I had memorized them versus reading them off a teleprompter. I think I have gotten to the point in reading a teleprompter where they are where they would be basically indistinguishable. Um, the difference would be that the pacing um, would be different. I don't. So no. So I wear these glasses largely by choice. Um, like I have an incredibly weak prescription. Um, the reason I wear these glasses is because they are computer safety glasses. Like they have a mild prescription attached to them. But like I have like a 0.25 in one eye and like a 0.5 in the other. Like, when I go outside because I have a mask, I do not um like I don't wear the glasses. But I think I look good in them, frankly. Um, which is why that's the only reason I wear them in the video. Like there's no in fact, it's actually more difficult for me because I had to change my lighting setup because as you can see, my light is now up there whereas it used to be straight on. But I can't do that because I don't want the light reflecting in my glasses. And so like that's a thing I have to be aware of. So like when I do my asides and the light is directly in front of my camera, I'm lying to you. Like that's not where it goes because if it was, you would see this the whole time and you would fucking hate it. I work to like make sure that as much as possible the lights are outside of I like outside of the lenses so that like when I'm, even when I move around a little bit, like obviously if I move too far up, you'll see it. But if I move around like that, like give myself at least a little bit of leeway before, there are like distracting reflections. Like that's important to me. And so that's actually been the most difficult thing about starting to wear glasses is like that stuff I have to be cognizant of that I just didn't have to worry about previously. And um yeah, so no, my vision's very good. So the reason I got glasses, and this is going to sound, I don't know, you're going to be like, oh, fuck off, probably. But I was getting really sick of going to Broadway shows and only sort of being able to see people's faces because I was like sitting, towards the back because I don't have a lot of money. Um, and like faces were just a little blurry. And I was like, I need fucking glasses. And then I got them the day after Broadway shut down. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I was very irritated. But yeah, that's why I got like prescription glasses. I've been using computer safety glasses for years, but I don't need contacts. Also, I think people look good in glasses. I've always thought people look good in glasses. I think glasses are hot with an AW. Okay, to answer Prince's question, yes. In fact, if you go and watch the video I posted that's generally available on my Patreon page, like 2 days before the new year, I talked about one of the ways that it affected me over the course of 2020 for the negative, in that because I don't because I no longer have a schedule of things that I see to talk about, um, suddenly I have to think a lot more about what I'm Willow. Now I'm curious what your glasses look like. Um, the um, but uh, so because I don't have like a schedule, anything could be a subject of review, and if and so it means I've like looked at fewer things this year. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I can see why that would not fit with your aesthetic. Um, oh yeah. um, yeah, but that's sort of it's been rough. Like I spend a lot of time thinking about YouTube, more time than I would like to, frankly. But um, but it's it just sort of is what it is. Um, but in 2021, I am hoping to spend less time. I have lost 3 subscribers so far, just to update people. Since we were talking about that earlier, I have lost 3 subscribers since starting this live stream, which isn't bad. I think the most I've ever lost was like 9. I think I lost 9 once, and that was like I was surprised it was that many. But whatever, it happens. And then I got a couple the next day. Whatever. It's the trend line is slowly up. Um, I mean, there's a potential that in 2 weeks I'll lose some from the video I post, or I will gain some who I will lose almost immediately after because I'm posting a video that's very unlike my general videos. And people might see and be like, ugh, I don't want that. Or people will see like, ooh, I want that. And then they'll look at all of my other videos and be like, what the fuck is this? I'm redoing my music licensing subscription service video. So I need to start working on that. Ugh. So, but if we're going to back up like 15 minutes to the question of why do I put as much work into my YouTube videos as I do, despite the fact that not a lot of people watch them and that I have such a small channel, is because I refuse to not do that. Like I'm not going to put out something that I would not myself watch. And I mean, and I've watched videos from people who put less effort or have like less technically basic um yeah, right. But like that sort of basic thing is just like if my videos were worse than they are, I would not be proud of this channel. And I am proud of a lot of the videos I've done. And that is because of the way, because of like the sort of just sort of like the fundamentals of what make this channel what it is. And I think having, nice lighting, a clearly written script, like a, proper delivery, like all of that is just like the week I review requires that for me to feel like any work is worth it. Yeah, I mean, the fact that I did film production in school and have, made several short films gives me a substantial advantage over people who have never, who like, people who don't understand what an f-stop does, right? Like that is absolutely the case, that because I have a filmmaking background, like to make something that looked bad would be like would it would be like spitting in the face of my education. Yeah, and yes, fundamentally I have high standards. I don't want to make something that I don't want to make anything less than what I'm capable of making in the amount of time I make it. Like obviously any given video could be better, right? Like if I spent more time on it, if I had way more time. I mean, I have my own website where I put a leaderboard of all of the things that I review. I graduated in 2014. but I mean, I use Patreon for people to patron me because no one would go to a no one would set up a not Patreon like like thing to back me there, and I wouldn't expect them to. Patreon is just easier. And I mean, Patreon really doesn't take that much of a cut. YouTube takes a massive cut. God, you people are young. um I graduated from high school in 2010. um all of you people, all except for Phil. Phil is not. Phil is not a. Yeah, I mean, I'm the sword. I think is like the same age I am. Um. Oh, Kojo's here. Yeah, you're also not young. You just didn't say anything yet. Happy New Year, man. God. I mean, if Mike is still here, dude's 16 now, so that's weird. Hell yeah. Uh um nice. Oh, Mike is still here. Hey. um yeah, it's interesting. There seems to be this gap. Like, we got like a bunch of like actual children. Although fortunately most of you are legally adults, because I feel very uncomfortable when I'm talking to children. um and then got like, uh people who are twice the children's age. Um which, whatever. And then I'm like somewhere in the middle. Um God, it is very strange. Like, because I really don't think of this channel as something that appeals to young people. Because I don't make it for I like distinctly don't make it for young people. Not that I really like have an age group in mind, but like, you know, um, I like. I mean, and that's like I'm doing this video about TikTok. Uh, excuse me, and it occurred to me that I have a nasty habit, and I know of not explaining what I'm talking about. I just uh I just sort of go into it, and it's like, if you don't know what this is, fuck it. Like you too fucking bad. Go to Wikipedia, learn it. Like Salo finally overtook um Parasite is my most viewed video on my YouTube channel, has more than 150,000 views, which is crazy for me. Um, like, whoa. Um, and uh, uh, my most common demographic is basically me, 25 to 35, white men from the United States. Which was my point earlier, that like, uh, Willow like breaks literally every single one of my demographic, like my typical demographics. Um, which is the point that she made the last time I brought up my demographics, because I didn't actually know that prior to then. Um, but that's so. How am I hitting your demographic? But anyway, to finish my thought. So Salo, um, people keep complaining about that video, justifiably, because I don't explain what Salo is. like like at no point, and I'm like, am I like, this is a movie, and like, here are some things that happen in it. Like, I never say anything that happens in it. I just talk around it, because I'm like, because it didn't even fucking occur to me that I needed to explain it. I was just like, the only people who would watch this video are people who have seen this movie. Like, it never occurred to me that someone who didn't watch the video would watch my video, which is stupid, frankly. Like, that was stupid, right? Right? Yeah, she agrees. Um uh and and so I just have this nasty habit of just assuming that the only people who watch my videos are familiar with the thing that I'm talking about. And um, I hopefully will not be doing this terribly much longer because I do have to finish that video. But anyway, take care, Jacob. Maybe I'll still be going. Who fucking knows? Um, yeah, Solo's a very interesting movie. But anyway, so usually I do a very bad job of explaining like the background of something, and for this video, it occurred to me that for once I actually need to explain the fundamental of like what the fuck is Ratatouille the TikTok musical and why is Ratatouille the TikTok musical. And then I can talk about how and sort of what I think is interesting about it and whatever. But because I think of my audience as being older and not being Gen Z and not being on TikTok, certainly not as much as I am, like I can't just make a video that assumes people will know. And I was like very cognizant of that while writing this script. So this script will be, oh hey, good to have you here, Liam. Happy New Year. Um, so this script will not assume that people know what Ratatouille the TikTok musical is. And they will not need to know, although obviously it will be better if they have seen it. Because I will get specific about things that won't matter if they haven't seen it. But for once, I will be. I'm making sure to explain context that I am sorely lacking way too often. So I apologize, but also, yeah, I don't really know why. I mean, frankly, I don't know why my. Yeah, right. I don't know why my videos resonate with anyone on some level, right? Like, Happy New Year. I mean, you made it to this one. We're an hour and 47 minutes in, but you're here. um, I mean, I've been doing this for like 2.5 years now. I don't even know what a typical YouTube growth strategy is, but whatever. So it's like whatever I'm doing is not really working if I want to be successful. But also, I've decided I don't really care about being successful. I would like to be bigger than I am. I've said that my metric of success, um, this this is a red panda. Yes, the only thing. The my measurement of success would be every single one of my videos gets 1,000 views. That is how I measure success, or how I would measure success, which means I would need to get, I guess, about 5 times as many subscribers as I currently have, because currently they all tend to get at least 200, although my last two did not, and I'm not happy about that. But hello. But like that is that is um sort of my goal. I would feel good if every single one of my video hit 1,000 people, and sometimes they went more, sometimes, like obviously would like more people to watch my videos than less, but like 1,000 would be like, I would feel genuinely good about that. Um, I think so. I think not that many people. Uh, yeah, I think just not enough people watch small acts in general. And by the time I got to like the last two videos, uh, the red panda's mine. I did watch Agretzko. I actually did a video about one of the Agretzko. Like I did a video about like the Agretzko Christmas special or something. Um, yeah, I like talking about A24 movies, so I guess that makes sense. Um, Um, yeah, so I can see how that's logic. I mean, I use like a YouTube thing that tells me what tags I should put on things, and so I like put tags on shit. Um, but beyond that, I don't really try very hard to market myself or to really make myself super marketable. Um, and I've never tried very hard because honestly, I don't like I really don't like self promotion. I think it's super gaudy and I hate it when other people do it. And so I don't like to do it. You know, if you follow me on Twitter, you will know that I very rarely talk. I mean, I very rarely tweet, but I very rarely tweet about YouTube videos I did. If you follow me on Instagram, I think I posted about having a YouTube channel once, and it was not like a picture from a YouTube channel. Like I don't post pictures of myself at all, um, you know, or people even. Like I just, you know, I don't. Yeah, I mean, some of the movies in Small Axe are very heavy, and some of them less so. But it's a good thing to see with people because then you can talk about it. So I can understand. I can understand that that impulse. Um, yeah, self promotion is necessary. So you know, you know, if I could get to the point where 1,000 people watch a video, I don't. Um, Thank you, Jay. I appreciate that. Uh, Goodbye, Wataru. I assume that means you're leaving. Um, but yeah, I mean, I like having a fairly small community. Um, I mean, yeah, people who are tacky are way more successful than I could ever be. Uh, but that's just like that's capitalism right there. Like, uh, you know, he who speaks the loudest gets the most attention or whatever. There's some fucking uh what is it that it's the person who says the stuff gets the thing. I don't remember. I don't know my slogans. Um, you know, but there is a slogan about that somewhere or another, somewhere or other. And you know, um I like having a fairly small or comparatively small community because you know, as I've said in like most of the things. So there are 22 people here right now, which is this stream has had an above average number of people. Yes, absolutely. Also, I'm not in my 30s, but yes, really nobody needs another white man raging about whatever. Um I'm trying, man. Uh you know, like I oh, right, sorry, Joel Haber. I totally um lost the lost the plot there. I mean, the reason like I had like the spike where um you know, I had like a spike where, you know, when my Parasite video when the Parasite video came up because um I like hit, you know, the zeitgeist there for whatever fucking reason. Probably because I talked about Joker in the subject line. My favorite comment that like negative comment I got on that video was I get recommended a fair number of smaller channels. But my favorite negative comment was your videos are only successful if they put Joker in the title. And I was like, then why does my review of Joker have 1/20th the views of this one? It didn't respond. Um, you know, yeah, no, my Parasite video came out 2 days after it released in the US, I think. It could have been earlier if I had realized that it had hit torrent sites in like fucking April, but I didn't know that. I was really irritated to find out. You found me through the search bar. What were you searching? But yeah, so like my Parasite video did well, like sort of initially, and then it sort of flattened out, and then the Oscars happened, and then it spiked again. No, I want to know. I always really like knowing how people find my channel because I like Jacob told me that he found me through my Aunt Kind review, which is like really my like second book review ever. The first of which was on the first day of this channel. I guess technically I reviewed a graphic novel, but still. Yeah. Cool. Oh yeah, well, my video about baby metal started off really well, and then it got copyright claimed, and then it fucking died. I talked about that in my thing. Like that has the craziest trajectory of any video I've had. It basically went like this and then flat. And I was very upset about that because that potentially could have done really well for me. That could have been the most fucking successful video on this goddamn channel. And yet, um, uh, um, yeah, I mean, anyone who dislikes The Assistant is a fucking loser. Like, you know, I just like I have absolutely no I have no fucking time for people who are like, this movie was boring, blah blah, nothing happened, blah blah blah. It's like, fuck off. My Dear Evan Hansen review is interesting. That one gets a fair amount of hate. Nothing gets hate like my fucking James A. Caster video. It is crazy how angry that video makes people. Oh wow, Limbo. That was a while back. Nice. Yeah, no, that's good. So I think about like, right? No, it is super interesting, and like also how I feel about where people come from. Like I get like bothered when people come through Solo, um, because I don't think that video is very good, and I wish I could redo it, frankly. Whereas, uh, my, um, like my assistant video, I really like my assistant video and my Nightingale review. Like I really, really like both of those videos. And so if people come to the channel through those videos, I feel like they have a good reflective, like they're getting a good reflection of like what the channel, or like any of my Daniel Sloss videos. I think that those are like really good reflections of how of me and this channel and the way they work. The Solo video is old, and I spoke much more slowly back then. And so there's a lot of like awkward pausing. Basically, I think that video gets good 2.5 minutes in, and I think the first 2.5 minutes kind of suck. But I can't cut it because there is important stuff there. But I did add like a chapter marker that was like, you can probably skip this part. So the original name for my James A. Caster review was I saw James A. Caster, but not his special, parentheses, it was weird. And so the video is a lot about the show that I was at, which had a lot of hecklers. And like at some point he just stopped telling the joke. And he's like, I'm done with this. Like we're just going to go on to the next thing. And it was weird because like there was just like this really weird energy in the room where he seemed to misunderstand, or as I understood it, what the audience was feeling was different than what he thought we were feeling. And so I just talked about that, and like people think it's me hating James A. Caster, and like they fucking hate that video. Like it is wild. How negative the response to that video is. Lost another 4 subscribers. I've lost 7 subscribers in the 2 hours since I started this live stream. It's a rat's life for us, little Remy. We don't cook food, let alone where we don't go. Rat's life for us, little Remy. We feast where the crime, the fungus, and bacteria grow. Let's see. James Acaster. So this video has 9,279 views. 80 thumbs up and 385 thumbs down. You should go get some sleep, Willow. Thank you, as always, for coming. I'm slightly offended that you did not comment on my Patreon video where I explicitly shouted you out. But, take care. Are there any... That's a good question. Probably. I'm going to get an Xbox Series X at some point. I want the cat game where I get to play as a cat on the PlayStation 5. And a few of those like things that are coming to Xbox Game Pass look pretty cool. I'm like so disconnected from what's happening in the world of video games right now, other than like the release of the PS5 and Cyberpunk. I have not seen fan art of Hannibal, but it's a Ratatouille alternate universe. That sounds wild. But yeah, ultimately I liked James A. And so the James Acaster video is actually interesting because that was so I used to do this thing that I eventually stopped doing where like I would respond to people who were in the room with me. I like in my head is like the peanut gallery. So I would like, I would like make a joke and then someone, which was me, obviously, would be like, "You suck," or whatever. And then I would like give them a look. I didn't usually like respond to them. I just sort of acknowledged their presence. And the James Acaster video is like the one exception to that where I like actually talk to this other person. And I think that made people mad also. Like people are just like, "You're not funny. This is stupid. How dare you insult James Acaster?" Whatever. And I mean, to get back to a point from a while ago, the reason I don't do them anymore is because it's complicated. I mean, Will, you could have explained why you like my videos because I still don't get it. But yeah, no, but that's literally all of my videos complain about my mouth. But that one just has so much hate. It's wild. Man, people are so angry. Yeah, no, but dealing with the self-heckling, just like took time that, especially in cases where I like had to acknowledge it because, it meant I was more likely to need to redo takes of, you don't actually have to do that. I appreciate you regardless. I'm just curious. So, people just don't like the way I look, and like that's their loss, man. It's like that fucking guy who said you're very unattractive for a grown man, which is like that's bullshit. Fuck off. Like no, I'm not. Like I don't think I'm the best looking man in the world, obviously, but like I am definitely above average. Like, let's not fucking like that's not being, that's not being like uh egotistical or anything. It's just like it is what it is. Like, so yeah, exactly. I'm just like I'm a good looking guy. Like I would never like win a beauty contest, but like anyone who's like like looking at you makes me upset because you're ugly is a fucking liar. Um, you know, you know. Uh to Liam's point, I appreciate that. Uh I really like my Assassination Nation video, and I'm glad that someone appreciated that I had to like go through a fucking process to figure out which movie that was, because the first movie I watched was the wrong movie. Um people feel that what they have to say is important, uh and they feel like I should care. Um Yeah, no, I mean, so the reason if I were ugly, it would matter is because my face is the whole video. Like if if I was ugly, you know, and people didn't want to, they'd be like, do a fucking regular video essay. Just show like, why are you showing yourself and not footage of this thing that I don't need to see? Right? Like the reality is my videos very rarely need other stuff to be on them. Like I find it really frustrating when um yeah, exactly. I there are a lot of times when I'm like watching a video essay type thing and they're just like putting footage on screen just because they feel like they're supposed to. And it's like, I would rather watch the person talking. Like, I would rather see them speaking than watching this bullshit. Like, it's more interesting. I think it's more interesting to just watch the person unless they're trying to make a specific point. Like, if someone is talking about a shot and like breaking down how the shot works and whatever, like, they should do that. And I'm actually kind of in an awkward position with the TikTok musical where it's like, I don't have a copy of it, but I'm going to talk about certain things and I have to figure out. It's possible someone like posted the whole thing to YouTube, and if it didn't get copyright claimed, I might, you know, take part of it. I don't know. I have to figure that out. Um, I tend, but I always like, I download the movies. Like when I review a movie, I download it so that I have it in case I feel it is important to talk about. But I don't always use the footage even if I have it, because sometimes I just don't think it matters. Like, I um when it comes to footage, I'm kind of going for the minimum viable product. Like, I have everything I think I need and none of the stuff I think I don't. Um, it is sort of where, that goes. Yeah. Apparently Bo Burnham is in Promising Young Woman, which actually gives me a reason to do that Make Happy review. so I might still do that. We'll see. Um, I feel like if I let that one just be what it could be, it would be really long. We'll see. But yeah, no, I mean the reason people I've never really understood the desire to write negative comments. But ultimately, I think it partially comes down to the fact that, YouTube is sort of predicated on the idea that anyone can have an opinion. Like, who the fuck am I to have an opinion, right? I'm so excited for it also. Oh, interesting. Like I'm just some random fucking guy, right? Like, and so any given commenter, not unjustifiably, is like, well, I'm every bit my opinion is every bit as valid as this random dude's. Um, And sometimes they're right and sometimes they're wrong, but that's how they feel. And um yeah, I need to see if there's a way to get my hands on it because I really want to see it sooner than later. It is weird that you're the only one who's been able to get it. But oh, I am very excited for Malcolm and Marie, which was the first movie really done in quarantine that obviously allowed everything to come back. I'm really curious. Also, Sam Levinson is great, but yeah, so I'm very excited to see what that is. Um, yeah, I'm excited. I'm super excited for Promising Young Woman. I was so mad. Like I didn't know that it was only coming to theaters on the 25th, and so December 25th happened. I looked it up, and it was like theaters near you. Um, and then it wasn't. So fucking unhappy. Oh well. Say la vie. Um, oof, I've been doing this for 2 hours and 11 minutes. Which I think no, it came out on that day, but it was only in theaters, like because I knew it came out on the 25th. But I'm not gonna go to theaters to see Promising Young Woman. Um, I haven't seen Soul yet. No. Someone asked like 2 hours ago. You're good. Yeah, I haven't had a chance. I've heard it's great, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. Hopefully, sometime in January. Um, but yeah, to Kojo's point, someone insulted me, like my face, or I don't remember. This was like a year ago, and I just said rude. Um, and the guy was like, "Oh shit, I didn't think you'd see that." Um, and it's that sort of thing where it's like, someone is. Um, I'm looking forward to the return of uh, theater. I'm looking forward to Halston because I am in it in the background in 2 episodes probably. That's what I'm looking forward to. Um, I have not seen Black Bottom. I've heard mixed things. I've heard the performances are very good though. Um, but I've heard mixed things about like the film, like adaptation. I guess it was a play initially. I heard it's a great play and like an okay movie, which I think was true about like Fences, right? There's like this would be better as a play. What movies are coming out in 2020? Movies next. Yeah. I mean, I love plays, right? So, um, uh, oh no, coming in 2021. Hello, sir. I want to see Dune. Oh, I'm curious about the Suicide Squad. Ooh, wait, did Antlers ever come out? I'm curious about the West Side Story. Very excited for No Time to Die. Halloween Kills. Um, uh, oh, the next Mission Impossible. Oh, the new Matrix. Oh, Candyman. I'm curious about In the Heights. Um, the Eternals. I don't know. Whatever A24 is releasing. Oh, Liam recommended that movie. Uh, Saint something. Whatever A24's next release is. I'm fucking hyped for that shit. Um, um, yeah, I'm looking forward to Dune because it's Denis Villeneuve. Saint Maud, yes. That I'm fucking hyped for that shit. I'll almost definitely review that because usually when I see an A24 horror movie, I review it. The Lodge being like uh, probably the only exception recently, and that was um, because of uh, that was just because I was like I had like 3 videos planned and I couldn't also do the lodge in there. Yeah, the lodge is fucking great. Um, Riley Keough or whatever her name is like one of my one of my favorite actresses because she always chooses really interesting projects. Um, and she's really good. So I always like when I see her name on something, I'm like, oh, that's probably worth watching. Um, yeah. So really, oh, interesting. Uh, yeah, I guess that was the trade off. We got we got the lodge and you got St. Maud. Interesting. Um, huh. You gotta see it again, man. It's so good. It's although I feel like you have to go in with the right expectations. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Willow. You should punch them. Are you allowed to do that? Um, you probably can't do that. Um, but interesting. Um, yeah, no, the lodge is a very specific kind of slow burn horror that um, it's not like scary, um, but it's incredibly unsettling, especially if you know anything about Heaven's Gate. Um, the more you know about Heaven's Gate, the um, the worse, um, the more disturbing um, the lodge is. I think. Yeah, that's fair. That would probably cause some drama. Um, you should make a TikTok where you insult them or whatever, and then wait and see until how long. Wait to see how long it is before they see it, and then duet it. And then there's like a video of like them going into your room and shouting at you. That's like I love when that happens. Like when I see like there's a TikTok of a and I'd seen several variations on this where like a friend is like looking at her uh friend, like it's her 20th birthday and she's like blowing out the candles on a cake and she's like crying and she goes into a room and looks up the average age of a cow is 20 and she just starts crying. Um and like funny video, right? And then you see and then like, like a I don't know, a few weeks later my For You page is a duet with the girl whose birthday it was, who did not know why her friend was crying at her birthday party. And she sees it and she's like, what the fuck? And then she pushes her friend out of a chair. Very funny. Um, I disagree. Um, but that's fine. People can have differing opinions on things. Um, I feel like we had this conversation already. This sounds really familiar. Or maybe we just had another conversation that uh that also and this whole like it wasn't anything I wish it committed thing sounds extremely familiar. Why don't your fucking housemates like you? You seem very pleasant. Then again, I don't know actually. Um, Honeymoon is really cool. Honeymoon is a really cool movie. Um, oh, that's interesting. I believe that. That sounds true. I lived my senior year of college. I lived with 7 other people in like a on campus house thing. And when we all decided to live together, we liked each other. Uh, before the end of the year, before we started the next year, So like literally like 2 weeks later, I had a massive falling out with one of the people and like a smaller falling out with another. So uh my entire senior year I lived with two people who did not like me. Wait, what? Police stormed what? Why did police storm your house? We need more fucking context, fam. Like, was it because you say that punching Nazis is a good thing, which it is? Yeah, sharing a house is intense. No, you didn't tell me. You got what? You got arrested? What? Bruh. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yes. Where is part two? Like that is absolutely the part of this where on TikTok it would be like part two, and then you know, and then the video would start, the fucking TikTok would start with like 25 seconds of someone being like, well, sorry, it took me so long to get this part two. I was fucking cleaning my goddamn house, blah, blah, blah. And then they eventually get to the story. The way people do part twos on TikTok, it's so fucking irritating. Um, but yeah, no, Willow, we need more context, please. Um, but yeah, um, last and first men. Huh. I'm gonna look into this. This sounds very interesting. Um, I have not been waiting to subscribe. I didn't even realize this was here. Uh, my girlfriend was dusting, I guess, earlier. I literally just noticed it was on the table. But that's a thing that happens. We shouldn't idolize slave owners. Good for you, Willow. God, you're possibly the coolest person in this chat. Actually, almost definitely. Yeah, I mean, if you're actually defacing shit, I mean, definitely you're the uh most legit. Let's go with that. I'm like a fake political person because I'm like, politics are good. Um, so you fucking Hulk out? Is that what you do? You just like you see a statue of a slave owner, and you just like, ah! And then you I don't know, punch it or whatever. Um, I mean, but seriously, fucking go you, dude. That's awesome. That that is that is like um yeah. In I did a martial arts short film in college where a character uh sees um sees this person who, I mean, your Twitter name is is very literal, Willow. Uh, I don't think I really like internalized that you are actually a literal vandal, I guess. Um, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of statues either, or flags. Um, you know, uh, but regardless, oh God, we've almost been here for 2.5 hours. Nice. I mean, that's good. It's a good thing to use Twitter for. Um, okay. Any final thoughts or questions anyone would like to have? Um, ask whatever before we say hell yeah. Uh, if I ever make it to the UK, Willow, we let's film you defacing a statue. um, yeah. The first review of thank you, Queen. Queen. Um, I don't have go-to movies that I rewatch. Uh, like I don't. They're very the uh movies that I really like that I could rewatch a lot. I mean, I've rewatched Detention a lot of times. I've rewatched Mad Max Fury Road a lot of times. Assassination Nation is a movie I could see a lot of times. Uh, 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 Spring Breakers. Uh, Spring Breakers is fantastic. The Edge of 17 um, is a really good, very rewatchable. Um, uh, I do live streams basically every 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. So the next one would probably be on the 17th, 16th or 17th, I would think. Uh, Possibly the following weekend, depending. Take care, Iron Sword. Scott Pilgrim is a good one. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of movies that like, I'm happy to rewatch, but like, there is not a movie that like I do rewatch that like is the movie that's like, oh yeah, if I'm looking for a movie, I'm just gonna. I actually inadvertently live streamed on Willow's birthday last year, back when Willow went by Jay, and I did not know that they were the same person. Um, it's good having you here, man. Take care. Happy New Year. Too long for I don't think I've seen either of those. Yes, this. Um, thank you. So the last thing I will say is what the next 3 videos will be, maybe 4, maybe 5, depending on what the current plan is. Ratatouille the musical, or Ratatouille a TikTok musical, which is that video will go up tomorrow. I have to finish writing it. I have to shoot it, but it will go up tomorrow at some point. Hopefully in the morning. Absolute worst case scenario, I will finish editing it in the morning and then it will go up early afternoon. And then after that is probably my Wonder Woman and Tenet thing where I talk about both of those movies. You should watch all of Small Axe. It works much better as a whole. Mangrove, I think so in order of best to worst, I think it's Mangrove, Lovers Rock, Education, Red, White, and Blue, and Alex Wheatle. Alex Wheatle is sort of the least good, but it's also only like 64 minutes long, and it's very good. But I would say all 5 are essential to really understanding what what Steve McQueen is going for. And also it's just like, I mean, it's 5 movies. Um oh really? Um 5 movies about by Steve McQueen, like doesn't get much better than that. Um I didn't even know you had a YouTube channel, and now I know what you look like. This is very exciting for me. Um uh There's so many Brazilians here. It's wild. Um the Yeah, I don't know how much. I'll probably just spoil both of them. So I guess, although I'm going to be totally honest, I do not think I watched Tenet with subtitles on. That was great. I was very happy to have been able to do that. Um, I do not think that you can spoil Tenet. I could tell you exactly what happened in that movie, and you would not understand it without having seen it. Uh, and even when you do see it, you still won't understand it because it's fucking nonsense. But anyway, so Ratatouille, Wonder Woman, and Tenet probably, unless I get to see Promising Young Woman, in which case that might get in the way. And if that happens, I might do Make Happy also. But on the oh, thank you, sir. Take care. It's always nice having you here. And then on the 18th, I believe all of the set pieces are in the trailer. So if you've seen a trailer, but like it, uh, even that, I don't think you understand it unless I use footage, which I wouldn't necessarily. Obviously, showing footage would spoil it, but like you can't explain it in a way that would spoil it. I don't know. I haven't decided. I'm not even 100% sure I'm going to do the video, but I probably will. Um, and then I'm going to redo my music licensing subscription service video. Um, for reasons. Um, I understood the bigger picture of Tenet on the first watch, but it doesn't make sense on like the micro level. Like it just doesn't. Like I got what was going on, but like if you try to follow any section through, it doesn't make sense because it just doesn't. Um, Whereas Wonder Woman is different, but whatever. I liked Wonder Woman and Tenet. Um, but and yes, now we're even. So yeah, those are the next 3 videos almost for sure. It's not so actually it's not one of my highest viewed videos, but it makes me all my money. And yes, that is absolutely why I'm redoing it, because it is currently out of date. And I feel bad that this video that makes almost all of the money on my YouTube channel is out of date. And so people come to it and it doesn't tell them the correct thing. Frankly, I would rather just replace the original video and like not have to like make it a thing. Like I would just literally like to redo the video with like all of the new stuff about licenses and like some new services or whatever. But because I can't do that, I'm gonna expand on it and make it a little bit bigger. Um, but but yes, the reason I'm doing it is purely money. Almost purely money. And money, but I feel bad because of money. But no, literally that video accounts for yeah, right. Like my almost like most of the people who back me on Patreon are from the UK. Um, and like most of the people who come to my live streams are Brazilian. It's this really like very few Americans seem to actually like engage with my videos in any meaningful way. Like a lot of I think like 40% of my viewers are American. So most aren't, which is actually pretty cool. Um, but it I want to go to Brazil. I don't know what I mean. I've made this point. I made this point earlier in this fucking thing. I don't actually um understand why. Yeah, Baccarat. I didn't know that Baccarat is on the Criterion Channel, so now I have to see it. No, you're not the only person from the Middle East. There have been other people. I just don't remember exactly from where. Um, but yeah, no, we got people from all over the fucking world who come to these things, which is awesome. And one of my favorite things about this, like it's really cool to me that we like have this. Um, I'm curious why that is the case, Julia. Um, we'll see. We'll see when I do it. But yeah, so uh yeah, so all over the yeah, we got people from all over the world. I mean, there's no one from Africa this time, but we've had people from Egypt and South Africa at the very least. The current time is just about to be 4 p.m. or 16 o'clock, you weirdos. um, I mean, I figured that it had something to do with that, but because I don't know exactly what Baccarat was about, um, as someone who is very critical of gringos, also, I'm sure I will enjoy it. Um, but yeah. I mean, if I ever go to Brazil, I feel like I'll need to do like a fucking like party. Uh, you know, and by that I mean honestly, I would need one of you to help me get around because my Portuguese is non-existent. I don't know any Portuguese. Actually, Cidade de Deus. I know 3 words, and I definitely didn't say them right. So yeah. Anyways, um, I have to look up what that fucking means. Making me do homework. Oh, copy. Search Google. Translate. Uh, only America provides that. Gotcha. Nailed it. Um. Okay. Anyways. Yeah, we're at coming up on 2 hours and 40 minutes. I think that's enough. Yeah, as I said, video going up tomorrow. I recommend everyone watch it, even if you don't know what Ratatouille the TikTok musical is. You will get to hear me sing in the opening. Um, uh, what would I recommend to a sad guy? The Ratatouille the TikTok musical. In general, I'd recommend getting a TikTok. TikTok's fucking great. TikTok makes me feel way better about things. This is an Express t-shirt. Thank you very much. There is absolutely nothing off-brand about this t-shirt. Um, oh, you mean off? I got it. Off-brand colors. Never mind. I'm an idiot. Uh, no, no. It's literally no. I'm just starting with singing like a few lines from Rat's Life, which uh, because you know because it's just good. Actually, you know what? I'll just do it for you now. So now you, and then you won't have to watch the video. Okay. It's the rat's life for us, little Remy. We don't cook food, let alone where we don't go. Rat's life for us, little. Okay, we're done. But yeah, so it's gonna basically be that. Um, so actually, the blue in my color is not is a digital only color and not one that can be replicated in print. But yeah, so I will be. It's like the first. I'm gonna do like the first 4 lines. Um, so you know, uh, that'll be fun. Okay, and I think when it's getting to the point where I'm singing Ratatouille the musical, it's probably time to say goodnight. Thank you everyone for hanging out as always. As I said, I'll be doing this in a couple weeks, possibly on the 16th, since that's a birthday. Well, if I can. And Happy New Year. Um, uh, yeah, there are so many Brazilians here. Yes, everyone buy my song. I'm working on another song, but it's bad. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I might not release it because it's bad. Willow's heard it. Or she heard an earlier version of it. Um, we'll see. Okay. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.